Let's begin today not by rushing into content, but by taking a moment to imagine not just what the future might look like, but what it could become if we choose to shape it together in this session that we have with me. Imagine a workplace where learning isn't a task on your to-do list, it's not something you squeeze in between meetings or postpone until you have time. Instead, it is woven into your daily flow. It's embedded in conversation, sparked by curiosity and fueled by the tools and the people around you. Now, imagine that learning isn't something exclusive, is not located behind job levels or departments or budgets. It's something personalized, scalable, and also human. This is the future of the work, and more importantly, the future of learning. That I want us to explore together today. The truth is that the work is changing rapidly, roles are shifting, industries are being redefined, technologies are evolving faster than ever before, and in this wide of change, the only real sustainable advantage we have is our capacity to learn faster, deeper, and more meaningful than ever before. And that's why we are here. This isn't a presentation about trends or prediction. It's like a conversation about the preparation that we have to do. It's an invitation to think differently, not just about what we learn, but how we learn, when we learn, and who we become in the process. We need to move beyond the idea that learning is a one-time event. It is no longer something that happens once a year in a training session or during onboarding week. And learning isn't confined to the classroom or the LMS. Learning must be continuous, integrated, purposeful, and most importantly, human-centered. And here is the exciting part that we will see today, that we have tools right now: artificial intelligence, analytics, mobile-first platforms, immersive learning environments. They are not futuristic ideas anymore. They are here. And when we use them with care, with intention, and with empathy, they can help us design experiences that are not only effective, but transformative. But let me say this clearly. Technology doesn't replace us. AI is not here to take away our humanity. Data it isn't here to dictate our decisions. These are tools. And like any tool that we used before, their power depends on how we use them and why we use them. So let today be more than a just session with me. Let it be a spark, a moment where we choose to imagine boldly, challenge our assumptions, and commit to creating environments where people can grow, really grow, every single day. Because the future of the learning and development is not something we wait for. It's something that we can create together. So with this introduction, I try to explain my idea and my thoughts about this future just present of learning and development. Let's take a closer look at these numbers. They are not just statistics on a slide, they are signals. Signals that something fundamentally shifting beneath our feet. 40% of the skills we rely on today will no longer be relevant in just a few years. Let's pause on that, and that's almost half what we currently know. What we have trained for, what we have mastered. Imagine waking up every day and realizing that nearly half of your toolkit become obsolete. Now, add to another powerful signal, 63% of employers say that the growing skills gap is their number one business challenge. Not operations, not finance, skills. What does this mean for us? As a learning professional, as a team leader, and also as organization. It means that upskilling and reskilling are not longer optional. They are not nice to have. They are not initiative we roll out, once a year and have the stick. They are business imperatives, strategic, and ongoing, and directly tied to the performance and sustainability. It also means that we need to shift our approach. It also means that we need to move from being reactive to being proactive, from static, one size fits all training to dynamics, personalized learning cultures, from planning for yesterday problems to preparing for tomorrow possibilities. And that's the begin by asking better questions. This question like, how do we prepare people for roles that don't even exist yet? How do we help teams develop a skill for problems that we haven't even faced before? And how do we turn this looming skills gap into a skills opportunity? Because here is the truth. The future won't belong to those who know the most. It will belong to those who learn the fastest. Not because they have more content, but because they have better systems, better insights, and a stronger commitment to human growth. That's our real job, not just close gaps, but to build bridges. Bridges to new capabilities, to new ways of working, to new opportunities for every person in our organization, and that is the urgency that is real for us. The pace of change is accelerating, but also is opportunity for our organization and for our teams. Let's be the ones who don't just react to the direction. But how is the AI impacting? So let's take a look at where we are and where we are headed. On the left, we see the top 10 fastest growing jobs, roles like AI and machine learning specialist, sustainability expert, business intelligence analyst, fintech engineers. These are jobs that didn't even exist a decade ago. Or if they did, they look very, very different as today. They reflect a shift toward data, technology, and digital transformation, and also sustainability. A world where intelligence, both human and artificial, is the most valuable currency. But now, look to the right. Here we see the top 10 fastest declining jobs: bank tellers, cashiers, postal clerks, data entry. These are jobs that for many years form the backbone of the economy. Jobs that are now disappearing quietly, steadily, and in many cases permanently. This isn't just about automation, it's about transformation, it's about how value is being redefined. And speaking of automation, take a look at this second visual, the human-machine frontier. This is a source from the World Economic Forum, and they predict that in 2022, 34% of the workplace tasks were completed by machines. By 2027, that number is expected to rise to 43. That's nearly half of all tasks being handled by technology. Machines are becoming more capable, more autonomous, and more present in our day-to-day operations. But here's is the key point. The machines are not replacing humans. They are redefining what humans do. The tasks that are being automated tend to be routine, repetitive, predictable. Meanwhile, the skills that are rising in demand are analytical thinking, creativity, system thinking, emotional intelligence, skills that are uniquely, powerfully human. So, what does it mean for us? It means that we need to rethink our learning priorities. It means that we can just focus on filling today's gap. We have to prepare people for jobs that are growing, evolving, and in some cases, yet to be imagined. It means that we need to empower people to move across this changing landscape, not with fear, but with adaptability, curiosity, and also resilience. The future workforce won't just need technical upskilling. It will need human upskilling, the ability to connect, to solve problems creatively, to lead through uncertainty, and that is our opportunity, not just to respond to change, but to lead it, to help people transition, not into a world of machines, but into a world where humans and machines collaborate. Move forward, L&D has changed and has to evolve. And for that reason, can talk about how learning has changed in these last years. For example, in the past, learning happened at every specific moment. A classroom, a training session, the first week of onboarding. We treated learning like a destination, something you go to, complete, and move on from. But today, it's totally different. That model no longer fits the reality of work because the work is fast, the work is complex, and the work is global. And that means that learning needs to be just as dynamic. Learning is no longer an event, it's an experience. It has to be continuous, it has to be embedded into the flow of work, it has to be accessible anytime from anywhere and personalized for different learning styles, different contexts, and also on different cultures. Think about our team today. Remote, multi-generational, diverse across every single dimension. That diversity is a strength for us, but only if we design learning to match it. We can't assume one-size-fits-all solution will work anymore. We need platforms that transcend border, content that resonates with different life experiences, and most importantly, learning experiences that are relevant, engaging, and also empowering. And here is the thing. This isn't just an HR conversation. This is about performance. This is about growth. Because companies that learn faster grow faster. They adapt quicker, they retain top talent, they build resilience, not just in systems, but in people. In this world of constant change, learning agility becomes a competitive advantage. And now, thanks to the technology and also data, we have the tools to make this kind of learning possible. We can personalize learning journeys, we can track progress and impact in real time, we can design experiences that scales without losing depth. AI, adaptive learning systems, skills mapping, real-time feedback loops, these are not buzzwords. These are the building blocks of the future or present could be of learning and development. But let's not forget something important, that even in this data-driven world, learning remains deeply human. And it is the core. Learning is about growth, about purpose, about becoming better versions of ourselves. Technology can power the system, but it's people who bring it to life. So as we look forward, let's ask ourselves, are we designing learning ecosystems that reflect how people actually live and work today? Are we putting empathy and insight at the center? Are we helping people not just keep up, but move forward with confidence? Because that is our role from L&D position. To be cultures where learning is not a task, but is a lifetime. And why L&D needs to evolve? Because L&D has to be evolved because our learners are evolving, no? Because today learners have changed. They are asking more of us, not because they are demanding, but because the world around them demands it. So let's break this down. First, remote work is the norm. Learners are no longer in the same office or even in the same time zone. They might be working from home, a coffee, or a co-working space across the world. That means that our learning can't be tied to fixed location or schedules. It needs to be flexible, asynchronous, and accessible on any device and any time. The second, learner expectations are higher than ever. People don't want to sit through 10 outdated slides or a 2-hour webinar just to find a 5-minute insight. They expect learning to be relevant, flexible, and also on demand. And honestly, who can blame them? In a world where you can watch a 5-minute video to fix your sink or learn a new software tool, the value is high and rising. The third point that I have here is that lifelong learning is essential. Careers are no longer linear. People change jobs, industry, even whole career path more than ever before. To stay relevant, they need to learn constantly, and that means we need to provide continuous, adaptive, and personalized learning opportunity. Not just once a year, but all year long. The fourth point that I bring is that the learning must be mobile and intuitive. It can't feel like extra work. It has to fit into people's life, not compete with them. It needs to feel like a natural extension of their workflow, not as a disruption. Sorry. And then we get the core message on this slide, because the modern learners don't want to more content. They want the right content at the right time, and that's the real challenge for us, isn't it? Because we don't need to create more content. We need to curate better. We need to recommend, design, and deliver learning that feels personal, timely, and actionable. Because when learning is relevant, when it's well timed and well delivered, it becomes irresistible. So let's stop overwhelming learners with quantity. Let's focus on quality, context, and also connection. So we are talking about how the L&D is changing, and I try to take this slide to make some difference between the traditional L&D and also the more modern learning ecosystem. On the left, we have the traditional learning and development model. It served its purpose for a long time, but in today's world, this model is not enough. So let's go line by line. First, traditional L&D often relied on one-size-fits-all courses. Everyone took the same training in the same way, regardless of their background, their level, or their learning preference. But we know that relevance matters. Modern learning must offer a personalized learning path tailored to roles, skills, and also individual goals. The second, we use it to rely heavily on in-person or static content. Slide decks, binders, long PowerPoints. Today that doesn't match the pace of preference of our workforce. Modern L&D is about on-demand, digital-first experiences, mobile, interactive, and also accessibly anytime. The third point is that learning used to happen in one-time events, a workshop, a quarterly training, a yearly compliance module. But learning today has to be continuous. It must be embedded into the flow of work, not something that pulls people away from it. The last, but not least, fourth point is that the traditional model focused almost exclusively on formal training. But we know that the real learning happens in many ways, through coaching, through peer learning, through community, and now increasingly through AI-powered tools that provide real-time feedback and guidance. This is the shift from traditional L&D to a modern learning ecosystem. It's not just about better content, it's about better systems. Systems that are adaptive, inclusive, and designed around the learner, not so the trainer. So here is the challenge that we all face. How do we build these ecosystems within our companies, our teams, and our cultures? Because the truth is we don't just need learning that works. We need learning that lives in the day-to-day, in the tools that we already use, in the way that people actually work and also grow. That's what makes the difference. And now I try to talk about the data and how the data can help us, as the title of this talk mentioned. So let's walk through this loop step by step. No, the step one is collect. We begin by collecting data, and let's be clear, this isn't about super resilience. It's about understanding who is engaging with the content, when are they learning, which devices are they using, what formats are most popular, and what's being skipped. This is the moment where we move from assumptions to the real visibility. Because if we want to design better learning, we first need to understand how people actually learn. And then we can move forward to the step number 2, analyze. Once we have data, we analyze it. We look for patterns, we identify skill gaps, and we uncover preference. Maybe we notice that a particular department consistently skips long articles but completes short interactive modules. Maybe we see that mobile learning spikes on Fridays or after 6 p.m. This is gold. These are insights that help us design smarter. And then here we have the step number 3, adapt. Here is where the magic happens. With the insights in hand, we have to adapt. We have to personalize learning path. We have to tweak format. We have to shift the timing or sequence of delivery. We have to improve the overall experience based on real behavior. This is how we move from learning that's for everyone to learning that actually fits someone. We make the learning feel more human, primarily by using the power of data. And the last step in this slide is measure the impact. Because not just how many people click it complete, but did they retain the knowledge? Did they apply it? Did we see improvement in performance, collaboration, customer satisfaction? That's the ultimate goal of this feedback loop, not activity, but impact. And the best part, this isn't a one-time process. It is a living system. It gets better every time that we run this loop that we are seeing now. We collect, analyze, adapt, and also measure again and again, refining our learning ecosystem with every single cycle. And let's be very clear. We don't use data to control learning. We use it to understand them, and also to serve them better. And if we have to talk about some key technologies transforming L&D, I take some points with you. The first one, AI-powered learning platform. This system that can analyze user behavior, what people click on, how they engage, what they skip, and recommend personalized learning paths. They help us from generic content to tailored journeys, unique to each learner's needs, pace, and also goals. Then, the second, technology, micro-learning and mobile tools. People don't always have 45 minutes for a course, but they often have 5 minutes between meetings or while commuting or during a coffee break. Micro-learning gives us the chance to deliver powerful, bite-sized content right when people need it. And when it's mobile, it becomes even more accessible. Learning literally fits in your pocket. Then the third key technology that I bring is that chatbots and also virtual coaches. These tools offer real-time support. Imagine finishing a lesson and instantly getting a chatbot prompt. Want to practice what you just learned? Or having a virtual coach that checks in weekly with suggestions or reminders. They make learning feel like a conversation, not a monologue. And the following key technology is VR and simulations. This technology let us simulate the real-world scenarios in safe environments. Think about onboarding, safety training, leadership development, all recreated in immersive, hands-on ways. It is learning by doing, without the risk or cost of the real-world failure. And the last one, and I like it so much, is the automation. This may be one of the most underrated. Automation helps us eliminate the repetitive tasks, reminders, enrollments, follow-up, so L&D teams can spend more time on what really matters, strategy, empathy, and also creativity. But here is the truth. All of this technology is powerful, but no one of it matters without any purpose specific. Technology is not the strategy, it's a tool, and how we use it makes all the difference. So let's not use tech just because it's shiny or new. Let's use it to reduce friction. Let's use it to personalize, and also let's use it to open access. So that learning becomes inclusive for everyone, regardless of role, language, and also location. Because the future of learning and development is just not innovative. It's more than that. Continue with the next slides. I will share 5 actions that you can start doing today. The first one, measure what matters. Too often we focus on vanity metrics, course completions, time spent, click-through rates, but those numbers don't tell the full story for us. Instead, let's focus on what truly matters. For example, are people applying what they learn? Is performance improving? Are teams collaborating better? Are learners more confident in their roles? So real impacts brings us a superficial stat. No, that is the difference that we have to focus on. The second action is choose a scalable platform. Your tech stack should be able to grow with you. Look for solutions that adapt as your people, your culture, and also your strategy evolve. The best platforms are not just powerful, they are flexible. The third action, experiment with emerging tech. You don't need a massive budget or a perfect plan to get started. Pilot something small, a chatbot, a micro-learning module, a VR simulation, test, learn, and iterate. Innovation is not about being perfect. It's about being curious and also brave. The fourth action is listen to your learners. Feedback is not just a survey at the end of the course. It's an ongoing conversation. What are people engaging with? What are they skipping? What do they wish existed? Your learners are your best source of insight. Use that insight well. And finally, the last action is co-create learning experiences. Don't design in a vacuum. Invite people into the process, ask for input, collaborate across teams. The most impactful learning often comes from the bottom up, not the top down. These 5 actions aren't complicated from my perspective, but they are transformational when done with consistency and also with intention. They shift L&D from being a support function to becoming a strategy driver of growth, culture, and also innovation. And to share some final thought before go through a real example and real practice is that data empowers. It doesn't replace. We use it to guide, not to control. Data help us make better decisions. And also, but the moment we use it, it should dictate learning instead of informing it. And also, we lose the magic. The second, technology support, it doesn't lead. It's there to amplify what makes learning powerful, but it should never replace the human connection at the heart of the real development. We must keep learning human-centered as always. And the last one, but not less important, is that the future is co-created. Learning, it isn't something that happened to us. It's something we shape together. Every interaction, every single insight, every single idea adds to the ecosystem that we are building. So yes, let's embrace technology, let's use data, let's innovate, but let's never forget Our greatest strength is our humanity, our curiosity, our creativity, and our deep care for one another growth. The future of learning won't be written by algorithm. It will be written by us. And now I want to go through a case real that how automation is applied in a L&D process. So because everything we have talked about, continuous learning, personalization, data and technology, can feel big, ambitious, even maybe overwhelming, but here is the good news. You don't need a massive budget or a complex platform to start making a difference. Sometimes a small automation can create a powerful impact. So let me share with you a real example I built using Make. I don't know if you know it, a no-code automation tool. This flow helps us solve a common challenge that is the following. What happens when someone signs up for a course but doesn't complete it? No, instead of manually chasing them or doing nothing and hoping for the best, we created a simple automated system that sends a personalized email reminder. So now I go up from the presentation to share my other screen, that is my Make. Here it is. You can share through the chat if you know it, Make or not. It's a good insight for me. So this is Make. This is a RPA tool. And these are all the apps that we can automate this with these apps. For example, we have Telegram, Google Drive, Notion, Google Sheets, OpenAI, ChatGPT, Slack, Gmail, WhatsApp, Excel. We have a lot of apps to automate. But here I will try to explain this scenario and how can use this tool. Very simple. We have this file. It's a small example. It's like to show the most impactful thing. We have 8 employees, no, and we have the course that they sign up, and if it is completed or not, no. So the idea is to automatize the reminder email for each person in a personal ways, no. In this case, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 persons that we have to send a reminder mail. But if you have more headcount than this, you can do the same way. So the first thing that we have to do is to connect our Google Sheets. How do it? We click on the plus, click on Google Sheets, and here we have all the functions available to do this. We will search this function that is search rows. This function able to see all the information that we have in our Google Sheets. So you will have to connect and give access to account. I am connected, just connected. Then we have to search our file through our Google Drive, and then we have to search our file that we are using. In this case, L&D practice case, the sheet name is the sheet 1. Ask us if the table contains header. We contain headers here. So yes, and the column range A to C sets. It's okay. We click on save, and then the second module that we add is Outlook, Microsoft Outlook. you can do the same to the Gmail. I click on Outlook, I click on create and send a message, and then we have to connect our session. I just do it, and we have to write the subject and the body content of this example. I have my reference here. Maybe we can say reminder pending course example, and then we have to write the body content. No, we have to write the body content to understand and to explain the which is the course that this person completed. So for example, I have the template here. We can say the following. We can say, hi, and these blocks that are appear in green here are personalized fields. If you see, we have name, email, course, date of inscription, completed, that are our columns in our Google Sheets. So I click on here, appear, and I click name. So this means that every single mail will be personalized with the name of the person. Hi, the name that corresponds. We notice that you haven't completed this. We have to put course. Yet, if you need help or want to continue, here your link to pick up where you left off. Keep learning, and this message is from our L&D team. Then we can add the importance of this mail. For example, low, normal, or high. We can put high. Which are the recipients? In this mail, in this part, we will add the email. That in this case, the email is always the same. It's my personal email, because if I put another email, you can see the final results. So I put my email, and from I have to write my Outlook or Hotmail account. Guido.rizzo Hotmail, that one. And now we can save. But now we have to do the last step, because we have to want to send a reminder only the person that not completed their courses. So in this part, we have to do the following things. We are going to the search rows again, and in the part of the filter, we will add a condition. The condition will be the field completed equal to, in this case, no, in capital letter, as the same way that we have in the file. And that one, and that's all. I save it, I save the automation, and now if we play on that, the automation runs. But before doing that, here is an important thing that I want to share with you. This clock is like it's a casual settings. You can do it in a regular intervals. You can do it every day, days of the week, days of the month, on demand, and also in specified dates. In this case, we will run the scenario on demand. So I will save it in that way, activate the scenario, and then I will play the run to see the magic behind this automation. I click run, and you see it. You have 1 operations and 6 operations. So because remember that we have 6 persons that not completed their courses. So now I will share my Gmail account to see the emails, the reminders emails that I received. For example, we have here, hi, Ana Ruiz, we noticed that you haven't completed the remote leadership course. Yes. Hi, Lucia. Hi, Carla. Hi, Juan Perez. And also here we have our friends Mickey Mouse. That is more popular than the others. And see you that it's personalized and also personalize the name of the course. If you want to change the structure and the format or the style of this text, you have to work on HTML programming language because this is the language that make using. But this is a very introduction and very quick use that make, or for example, automation tools can help us during our L&D processes that we have in the company, because send reminder is a repetitive task, also boring task. We lost and spent a lot of times in this kind of task, instead of taking this time to, I don't know, to think about the strategy of L&D or something to implement new processes in our organization. So this is the final of my talk. I hope that you enjoy the same as me. So thank you for listening. Thank you for your